Yeah, I know the title is technically Ready or Not, Here I Come, but that would be a long ass title, and I still don't know how YouTube works, so deal with it.
No.
Yeah, that seems about right. So sequels are an interesting thing. If your first story is good, can you recreate the same magic? Can you improve? Or will it reveal that you're a one-hit wonder and you will never be able to improve on your previous work?
That seems harsh.
Get out.
There's even crazier stories from franchises like Ouija Origin of Evil being a prequel to a very mid to maybe even shit movie that became an instant horror favorite. Or a few years ago when I watched Becky and thought it was aight at best, but was pleasantly surprised with Wrath of Becky, which felt like the makers watched my YouTube channel, took all of my criticisms to heart, and came up with a fun, dark comedy that I would recommend to anybody that wants to watch a tough, likable girl boss kill a bunch of garbage people in pretty creative ways.
Real quick, your friend on the dock could use a hand.
Which brings me neatly along to Ready or Not, a movie that I thought was pretty mid.
How dare you!
So let's talk about it and its sequel with little to no spoilers, but let's roll my intro first because I still like it. The first Ready or Not movie I thought was aight. It's a dark comedy that I didn't think was very funny, especially for the dark moments. Like, check out this kill. This is how I can describe the whole movie. This could have been a fun kill, but the way that it's shot just felt so cheap. It's not funny, it's not fun, but also not serious enough for me to really know exactly how I'm supposed to feel about this kill. And this is a dark comedy with a decent sized kill count. You would think that they would know exactly the kind of tone these kills should have. Now, maybe it's just me, because I did see it by myself, so maybe that's why I didn't like Ready or Not that much. But sometimes I enjoy being the dumbest motherfucker there is, because everybody else liked this movie a lot. So much so that we got a sequel. And oh yeah, the sequel is so much better. So the sequel takes place pretty much right after the first one. Tough break for our gal, because she got fairly beat up in the first one. If you've seen the trailer, which I'm pretty sure most of you have, the story is essentially double or nothing, which is what Frodo Baggins literally says in the trailer. Since the family in the first movie failed to kill the bride, they not only screwed themselves over and blew up like a bunch of schmucks that don't know how to kill an 80-pound woman in a wedding dress, they also messed things up for several other devil-worshipping families that essentially control the world. So, because of their cuck-up, our main gal has to be thrown into another survive until the next day game, only this time the playground is much bigger, but the family hunting her are a smidge more competent. Oh, and her sister is also here, who is becoming a bit of a modern scream queen herself.
How do we kill a vampire? What are we talking about, like an Anne Rice or a True Blood, Twilight? You don't have to worry about anything because your mom's already been murdered. Huh. You have a point there.
Not bad movies, by the way, so without going into the details and spoiling everything, how does it compare?
I'm basically better than you at everything.
I cannot be more clear about this. Ready or Not, Here I Come makes Ready or Not look like Weenie Hut Juniors. Thanks, Charlie, for that line. But seriously, Ready or Not 2 is funnier, and my favorite scene is probably the pepper spray fight for those of you who have already seen it. Ready or Not 2 has better kills. Ready or Not 2 does scene tone better. Ready or Not 2 has better characters. Ready or Not 2 is Carmilla, and Ready or Not 1 is Tahani.
What the fork?
Ah, that's too tame. This is a horror channel. I can do better. Ready or Not 2 is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, and Ready or Not 1 is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre New Beginning.
You're nothing. You're nothing. You're nothing.
The sister edition is great. They have some really good sibling moments, fun, hateful, funny, badass, the whole package. The only gripes I could have with this movie were that there were some scenes that at first felt like plot armor, but the more I thought about it, it made sense. Like the girls having the drop on some of the hunters and not immediately killing them. They wanted to get off of the property and were way more interested in that rather than having the next in line come after them. There's also a scene where a guy beating on one of our gals like a small dog, and at first I'm like, this is bullshit. But then again, these are literal devil worshippers, so them being sadists seems like an obvious personality trait. And then at the end, there's a technicality which in a deal with the devil should definitely have happened, but it didn't. But honestly, I'm okay with it. Even though it's the last part of the movie, it didn't affect my overall enjoyment of it. This is a solid dark comedy, probably going on my best of the year part 1 list. Go see Ready or Not, Here I Come in theaters. I'm sure you'll have a blasty blast. And don't forget to be spooky.